Okay, so this is a lesson on multiple meaning words. So I teach elementary school, fourth grade, all subjects. So this is based on a lesson that I teach normally as part of my curriculum. So about it, it should take about one reading block, 60 minutes, depending on your kids and the work time you want to give them. Subject, like I said, reading, focusing on multiple meaning words, and covers that Common Core standard. The learning objectives are determining the meaning of a word in context of a sentence and identifying definitions of words with multiple meanings. And then creative learning objectives are I can use my knowledge of definitions of multiple meaning words to come up with unique sentences using those words in context. That's the application of the words. So to introduce this to my students, I would ask for examples of multiple meaning words. So words that they can think of that have more than one meaning, that can mean different things. So I liked the little picture off to the side that said you're both nuts. So that's a good example, like an almond and the tool are both examples of multiple meaning words. So get a bunch of examples from them and then ask, so what do you do in a sentence? How can you tell which one they're talking about? And then hopefully wrap around to the point that you have to look at what the sentence is saying to be able to tell what the definition is. So this is what the main activity would look like briefly. So you would start with your list of multiple meaning words. Then in pairs, students would choose a word. So my note cards that I have here would be an example of a pair of students that chose bark. So the note cards they're pre-numbered and they'll correspond with questions on a recording sheet. So 3 and 4, they'll both be sentences that the students create using the word bark, using both definitions. So the first one says the dog will bark at the cat. Second one, the tree bark is really rough. So they come up with their own sentences. Those are just ones I came up with. And then off to the side would be an example of what the recording sheet would look like. So on number 3, they would circle whichever definition they think bark means on the note card, if it's the sound a dog makes or the outer part of the tree trunk. After all students have finished their recording sheets, we would go through them as a class, talk about any that we disagree on, focus on the importance of looking at context in a sentence, how without context we wouldn't understand the difference between the two definitions. And then as the assessment, I would do something similar, just individual instead of in pairs. Give students a couple words to create sentences for that have multiple meanings. So I could have a list of like 3 words from the previous page and say come up with 2 sentences for each word showing the 2 different definitions of the word to show that they understand how to define both of them and how to define them in context. And then my biggest takeaway from creating this lesson was that it doesn't have to be a big change. So I took an existing lesson from our curriculum that we have at my school, and I modified it to a way that would engage kids more. They have more say in what they do. It's more of a student-led assignment because they're all using sentences that they came up with, and they can sometimes be a little silly, and they'll giggle about it, and it's more engaging and fun when they have more of a say in their assignment.